Sarvebhyo Namaha. My name is Sumanth Ganapathi Basavapatna. I live in San Jose, California in the United States. My chosen topic for discussion is Adi Shankaracharya's contributions to Indian national integration. Adi Shankara lived a millennium and a half ago from today in the 7th century CE. What is national integration? Well, national integration is defined as an effort to bridge social divides and gaps which are caused primarily by rigidity and exclusivism in social practices. As of Adi Shankara's day, the need for national integration could be divided as the solving of two issues, Mata and Bhasha, which the Acharya did through the creation of the Panchayatana Puja and his four mathas on the institutional and social scales, and the complete linguistic freedom he gave for the expression of Advaita Vedanta on the Bhasha issue. We shall look at these in further detail. This is a map of Adi Shankara's personal travels across India. He travelled the nation thrice in his 32-year lifespan, setting out from his home in Kerala at the age of 8. Now, of the two issues, Mata, religious opinion, is the most prominent. We can divide the problem of Mata into two sub-issues, those being the problem of Mata on the intellectual scale and the problem of Mata on the social scale. On the intellectual scale, traditional Hindu scholars and philosophers were having a hard time standing up to the cold logical questions asked concerning the Hindu tradition by Buddhists, Pakhandis, and other questioning agents, and there was a definite need for logic and sharp brilliance in this field. This was provided by Adi Shankara's own mind. However, on the social scale, the problem was more complex. The masses of India had lost the connection between their local practices and the traditions of the Vedas. To provide the coordination between the two, the Acharya came up with the Panchayatana Puja system. In traditional Hinduism, there are 6 major schools of worship. They are called the Shanmatas. They worship 6 deities, those being Shiva, Vishnu, Surya, Ganapathi, Devi, and Kumara. These are Shaiva, Vaishnava, Saura, Ganapata, Shakta, and Kaumara respectively. Since the school of Kaumara can be correlated with Shaiva or Ganapata, it does not feature prominently on the Panchayatana Puja list. Now, the Panchayatana Puja calls for the presence of 5 stones taken from 5 different rivers. They do not sculpt the stones. They are not sculpted. They are directly taken from the riverbed so as to symbolize the lack of attributes that is the nature of the Brahmavastu. It is a philosophical note. On the note of national integration, the 5 rivers, which are the sources of origin for these 5 stones, are very important. Let us look at them now. This is the Banalinga. It is a representation of Shiva and it comes from the Narmada river. Here is the Shonabhadra Pashana. It comes from the Shona river, which is a tributary of the Ganga. It represents Ganapati. This is the Sphatika. It's a crystal which symbolizes Surya. It comes from the Saraswati river. Here is the Ambika Shila. It represents Devi. It comes from the southern Suvarnamukhi river. And finally, here is the Shalagrama. It's a fossilized mollusk which comes from the river Gandaki, which is today in Nepalese borders. Now then, as we can see, these 5 rivers are from the center and 4 cardinal directions of India respectively. This shows that due to the sources of origin of these 5 stones used in worship, when the Panchayatana Puja is conducted by a worshipper, the worshipper is also honoring the entirety of India, since these 5 stones representing the 5 deities are sourced from these 5 rivers which are literally all across India. Now, furthermore, since we saw that national divides which warrant the need for national integration are caused by rigidity and exclusivism, the Acharya eliminated the very concept of that by allowing for total flexibility in the arrangement of these stones. The Kuladaivata of the worshipper, the family deity, can be placed in the center, while the other 4 stones can be placed in any order in a surrounding square. The Shalagrama represents that example here. If that is on the social scale, let us look at his contributions on the institutional scale to solve the problem of Mata. Here we see 4 stars marking the locations of the Acharya's 4 mathas. the seats of Vedantic thought. This is Sringeri, Puri, Dwaraka, and the Jyotirmatha in Kashmir. This shows that the thought of Advaita cannot be relegated to one corner of the country. It has to be visibly, tangibly pervasive to all of India. North, south, east, west, the four cardinal directions have to be pervaded by the Vedantic thought, which is based in these four mathas. More interesting is the delegation of the four main disciples of the Acharya to head these four mathas. This is Hastamalakacharya, who was originally from the Udupi area in southern Karnataka, and he was sent to head the matha in Gujarat, in Dwaraka. Here we have Acharya Padmapada, and he was sent to Puri in Odisha today. And here we have Acharya Sureshwara. His case is the most interesting in this aspect. His original name in his Purvashrama was Mandana Mishra or Vishwarupa, and he was famously defeated in a debate by Acharya Shankara. He lived in Kashi and was a Shukla Yajurvedi, but he was sent to the southern matha of Sringeri, which is populated mostly by Krishna Yajurvedis. A northern Shukla Yajurvedi was sent to Krishna Yajurvedi southern matha. Now, we have Totakacharya, who was from Uttarakhand, and he was sent to head the matha in Kashmir, the Jyotir matha. As we can see, these four disciples who became the acharyas of their four mathas defined national integration. They were shining examples of Simollanghana, the forgetful nature of national regional boundaries, to forget that they exist, to forget regional identity, and to literally consider India as one entire entity and to treat it as such. Therefore, on the institutional scale, Acharya Shankara achieved national integration. Now, let us briefly cover Bhasha. This is a rudimentary map of the various regional languages as of Adi Shankara's day. The matas and paramparas that would evolve in these regions would embrace the region-specific languages and therefore make their ideas more conducive to propagation in that area. However, this also meant that people from other areas would have serious difficulty in understanding and appreciating those matas and paramparas from other regions. Furthermore, Samskrita was the language used for formal thought, philosophical debate, and commentary on the traditional works of Hindu philosophy, and the regional languages were used for the local matas and paramparas. To solve the issue of the lack of integration in the linguistic field, Adi Shankara utilized Samskrita for his personal writings, commentaries, philosophical write-ups, etc., while also giving complete freedom for the expression of Advaita and Vedanta in the regional languages. After the time of Shankara, we see several poets, poetesses, thinkers and philosophers from all over India who would use their personal and regional languages to express the same thought. Sant Gyaneshwar, Lalleshwari, Kabir, Anubhavamrita are just four of so many examples of this. They used the regional languages to express what had been expressed by the Acharya in Samskrita, indicating that the thought of Advaita could be used as a national integrative force on the linguistic field as well. Thus, on the social, institutional and linguistic fields, the Acharya achieved national integration in the problems of Mata, religious opinion, and Bhasha, language. We owe our cultural existence as Hindus to these national integrative efforts that were done by the Acharya. He gave India a cultural identity of its own in a firm manner. I owe my sincere gratitude to Gokhale Institute for Public Affairs, on the platform of which Shatavadhani Dr. Ganesh has delivered an enlightening speech on the topic of Adi Shankara's contributions to the revival of Hindu Dharma in India. I owe my sincere gratitude to both of those entities. Thank you so much. Namaste.